Joe Mazzulla joining us now.
I need one of those sweatsuits.
You'd be a lot more comfortable in
Not
a suit,
reveal
right?
where I got it from.
Yeah, I need one of those.
I got an idea where you got that from.
And you got that from Andy, and I need Andy to give me a box.
Andy, you need the hookup. You need the hookup.
That's a public call out, Andy.
That's my guy. I love him. He takes care of me.
Joe, great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Let's just start with the biggest news. Jrue Holiday joining the Boston Celtics. How does he help elevate this team?
Just adds more character to what we already have and adds mindset. Just a level of toughness, a level of physicality. The reputation he brings on the defensive end of the floor is key. But we've had a lot of battles against him in years past, and he's made a lot of timely baskets. He's made a lot of plays on the offensive end. So it's our job to fit him in, and it's his job to bring that character and mindset. And I think it'll be a great piece.
Hey, is this the norm for you, where like the couple days before camp starts, it's just everything changes? You're getting used to it.
I'm used to it. For sure. Yeah.
But in reality, how does it change what you're going to try to get the guys to do on the court when you add a guy like Jrue Holiday and you lose a couple guys like Brogdon and Rob Williams? Obviously, Rob was kind of the anchor behind in the back line of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like we talk about our defensive identity, we talk about our losses to our roster and our additions, but at the end of the day, every year you have to reinvent that identity. You have to recreate that identity. And so with the roster that we have, defense has always been in the DNA here for the Celtics. We've been top 5, top 3 almost every year since I've been here, and even before my time. And so it's just recreating, rebranding what that looks like. You can be good on defense in many different ways, and it's a matter of how can we be good defensively with our roster? How can we be flexible? How can we be a little bit adaptable to where we can go to some different packages, some different layers of adjustments, some different layers there, and that'll just come from time, but it will come from really the mindset of our team.
What are the answers to those questions, at least that you envision going in? Because we all know once you hit the court, you're going to see how things work, and you're probably going to tweak things. But how do you envision those answers coming out as you go into camp?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing it starts with is like individual defense. Regardless of who's on your roster, regardless of anything, you can take pride in your individual defense. It's something we were great at 2 years ago. It's something that we weren't as good at last year. Something we want to get back to this year is like each individual guy taking a pride to guard the ball. And I think it starts there. And then after that, once each individual guy has that ownership and that accountability towards guarding their own man, you can do pretty much anything. But we have the ability to play small. We have the ability to play big. Chris Stapps will give us some rim protection. He's a little bit of a better defender than people think he is.
Very underrated.
And I think that'll take some pressure off of Al, right? And so I think it's just a matter of starting with that individual piece. I was joking on the press conference, like there were times last year where I didn't do a great job.
You were joking with the media?
I never do that.
I know, right?
I won't do it this year, I promise.
No, come on, you have to.
That's dry humor. That's dry humor.
But I think one of the things that I learned as a coach was like you are what you emphasize. And like for me personally, I was messing around. Like no one had to emphasize defense to me because I was so bad on offense. And so I just assume that people play defense, but I'm coaching a bunch of guys that are way better at offense than I am, so I just got to remind them from time to time. And so defense has always been in my DNA. It's been in ours. It's just about getting back to emphasizing. It's just about making it the most important thing, and I think our guys are ready to take that on.
And you talked about it, the defense. To me, that was the one thing that stood out with the trade for Jrue Holiday is the fact that now is you have so much defensive versatility, so many guys that can guard their own yard. Now, is on the perimeter, you got Jalen and Jason. They all express that they both express they want to be all NBA defense, right? We already know that Derek White is on that level, and we know Jrue Holiday is. You guys have all that mixed up there. But I think the one thing that I really was excited about, and I dropped the F-bomb on the plane when I seen the trade.
I drop those all the time.
Hey, on the bottom line, did you do a backflip after you got the trade? You had to be super excited.
I didn't, but I just my way of excitement is like I get angry and like anxious and like.
So did you go to the gym and slam somebody?
I did like a couple hundred push-ups. I got a workout in, but it's like we should be practicing right now.
I'm glad
should not be waiting until Tuesday.
I'm glad you weren't playing pickup ball.
Check ball right now.
But I'd like the fact that I feel like the first time, and this is no slight to nobody that had played here before, I just feel like the first time we have an organizer at the point guard position with Jrue Holiday. When things get a little murky, the water's get muddy a little bit, and guys start mucking the game up, he's been in every situation, and he could calm the guys down, get guys organized, and also get Jason and Jalen the ball in scoring position with a live dribble. To me, that was one of the things I got really excited about when I seen it. And when I heard he went to Portland, I know he wasn't staying there, and I was like, we got to get him somehow, and if we do, I think that changes the landscape of the NBA as well. And so I know you have to be extremely excited about not only the defensive versatility that you guys are going to be able to bring to the table, but also the offensive versatility that everybody has.
And that point guard role is with Derek as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, I think, Derek is one of those guys where he's always under the radar because of just how he carries himself. And, like, from the day we traded for him, he's gotten better and better on both ends of the floor. And, it's hard coming into our defensive system because we switch more, because you're in much more guard your yard situations. And he came from San Antonio where they didn't switch as much initially. But his development over the last year and a half has really been big for us. And so, he'll be doing some of the point guard duties as well. And it's important that, like, the addition of one player doesn't take away from another player. Like, that can't happen. Like, we have to get the best out of everybody. But at the same time, everyone's going to have to be willing to sacrifice. But the one area that no one's talking about is I'm really excited about is our second unit, our third unit. Like, the guys like Peyton and Sam and Brissett and Luke and Jordan Walsh. Like, those guys, like, last year, our second and third unit won us games. And they have to be able to bring that mindset and that intensity and that level of basketball. And, those guys start with Peyton. Like, I'm excited for him. I think this opportunity is going to be big for him. And we're going to rely on his mentality, his mindset to bring that same defensive and that toughness.
Yeah, he's a dog on the defense. He'll pick up 94 feet. He's not scared of any moment. One of my favorite players all the time. I tell him that all the time. But about Jordan Walsh, right? You spoke on Jordan Walsh. Talk a little bit about what you're excited about with him and coaching him and helping him develop. He showed great flashes and good signs of being a really good player. What is he going to bring to this team, and what are you excited about coaching?
I'm more excited about getting him into an organization, getting him into where there's direction, there's an identity, and it's like there's no rush here. Like, you have time to become this. And you're not being judged by how you handle preseason game number 3 or how you handle the minutes that you get, or you're not being judged by when you get assigned to the G League or not. Like, you're being judged by how you approach it every single day, how you get better, and can you get better at certain things? Can you fill a role? You know how it is. Like, when guys come into the NBA, they're used to doing one thing in college, but they're asked to do something completely different.
You have to change, or you'll be out the league. So you have to change.
And so can you just work? Can you be open-minded to developing the role that is needed for you to help us whenever that situation comes?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, heading into your second season now, does it feel different for you at all, or are you treating this year kind of as your year one?
Definitely like treating it as a year one. I think last year was a cheat code in some ways because we were able to go through it. We were able to be somewhat successful, and we were able to collect a lot of data. And then we were able to use this offseason to really just go back and say, okay, like, what worked, what didn't, where can we get better, what has to stay the same? Because it's very easy when you don't achieve the main goal of winning a championship to say you have to change everything. But we did a lot of really good things on both ends of the floor and as an organization. And so we can't come in and have overhaul changes. We have to stick to those things. And then we just got to be open-minded and flexible to the things that we can grow at and get better to put us in position.
We can't let you get out of here without talking about Kristaps Porzingis. It's a 7'3" addition.
Yeah.
We gave our take at the top of the show.
What was it? I'd love to hear it.
Well, I said that I think it's going to really affect you guys in crunch time. It's
Positively or negatively?
Positively, my friend. Positive.
We positive on this show. Glass half full.
On this show,
glass is half full.
But no, I think that he's going to give you guys an element that you just did not have offensively when you're looking to try to put the ball through the basket in crunch time of big games. How do you see him impacting what you guys are trying to accomplish?
So when you look at offenses, and really when you look at the game in the fourth quarter and you look at the game in the playoffs, it's essentially the same thing. And we've had great players, we've had great stuff here, but we haven't had the ability to change the dynamic of offense late in games with this, whether it's with post-ups, whether it's with nail isos on mismatches. And so the addition of him allows, one, the matchups to be a little bit differently late game, and two, allows us to change our play call frequency to get those hard twos, to get to the free throw line, to get Jason and Jalen open catch and shoot threes because Kristaps is posting a smaller guy. And so it really just comes down to, can we organize our spacing, can we fight for space, and really get those free throw line opportunities, get those hard twos. And I think that'll change the dynamic of our late game offensive package. But at the same time, he's going to have to help change our defensive identity there. And our first shot defense in the fourth quarter in late games is really good. Our defensive rebounding has not been. And so we have to finish possessions with defensive rebounding.
From serious to not serious, right? Are we going to toss to something here?
Yes, yeah. I know that you had a busy off season. That includes taking in Marcus Smart's wedding. Whose idea
you knew
was
this was going to come
I got
up.
something for him. I got something for him. I was told specifically that let's take a funny. We took a serious one before, and then he's like, let's be funny. It
This
won't
isn't
get
the
out.
serious one?
That's not.
No,
the
that was be funny and it won't get out.
It was.
You fell for the banana in the tailpipe. That's what happened.
Wait, Jason said it won't get out?
I'm not going to tell you who said that. All I'm going to say is I was told to be funny and it won't get out.
The banana in the
And it got out.
tailpipe. You
what
already know
happens,
that's what
right?
they're gonna do.
I thought you looked great. But I got to say, I think Brad won the picture.
Of course, he always does.
Brad won the picture. All right, Joe. We appreciate you coming by. Good luck this season.
Good luck, Coach.
Thank you
you.
very much.
Thank
Great
you.
to
Can't wait
see you
to see
again.
you guys tomorrow.
Let's see it.